Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give everyone a few more minutes to come in, and I'm going to type some things in the chat room. This is Sonja, Cassandra, Perdue. We're going to give everybody a little more time to come in. Everybody's traveling, aren't they? Um, Everybody's busy. They're all entrepreneurs. They're working people. Okay. So give it a few more minutes. People are still coming in. Welcome, Harold. I hope you don't have any problems this time. Hey, Vince. Hey, Jay. Good to see you.
Hello.
There, Kenya. She's driving on in. They working. They working. So I'm gonna go mute for a minute, post some things in the chat room, and give everyone a few minutes to come on in. Suzetta, thank you for joining us.
I see I'm not the only one driving, thank goodness.
Letting a few more people in. Panelists, feel free to put your contact information in the chat. Miss Noble is joining us. Welcome. Hello, Miss. Hello, Miss Phillips. Come on and join us. We're waiting for a few more people to join us, and we're going to get started. Thank you for being here. And I guess the attendees, you too, feel free to put your contact information and a little bit about yourself in the chat room. Also, Pat Murray is in transit as well. She'll be here in about 15 minutes as well. Just to let you know, Vince, everybody's traveling. Everybody's traveling. But they're making it. They're making it. So that's the most important thing. They're giving us their time and their energy. So that's okay. Welcome to Ask an Expert Virtual event. Going to give them one more minute or 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We're going to give them 2 more minutes to come on in. Um, I'm thinking 5:30 is a good time. It worked good for us last time. We're going to see. We're going to see how that goes. That time goes. Maybe 6 p.m. is better. Maybe another day is better. But I think people are busy all the time. I do believe so. I need to turn all these screens off, and I need for us to let's get started. They'll be in. Welcome to Ask an Expert. It's real simple. It's just a simple conversation. This event is hosted by Chicago's Black Business Network, and I'm the founder of that particular entity since 2009. But we know that businesses are always recreating themselves, and I found that I love connecting people. And say I love when a plan come together. This is our second virtual event under the title Ask an Expert. And what it really is just getting people from different industries to share what they most of us, let me see some more people enter it. Most of us, when we go to webinars and events, we're attending these events with people who work in our particular industries and with us in the different groups that we work in and that type of thing. Oh, Harold is working. Wonderful, wonderful. So I thought that we would talk to people and interact with people outside of our everyday normal work life and business life so that we can learn some different things and share some different things. I recall in the last session that we had Nurse Felon from Nursing Inspired, and and she was talking about people being stuck in their industries. Well, nurses are not the only one who gets stuck in their industries. People get stuck in their personal life, in all kind of jobs, and in all kind of professions. And so then I took that idea and I started going around and asking, do you feel in what you're doing? And I found that people did not react that greatly uh, positively to that particular term. And so I did these because it felt like I was asking them, you're not going any further, are you a failure? They had all kind of other implications. So then I started asking, well, what's your next, what do you do? So forth and so on. Well, what's your next step? And they would either say, well, I don't know, kind of content. I was thinking about doing this, and carry the conversation on from there. So I'm here to learn. And that's why I shared that little story with you. That's what I'm here to do. I am here to learn. And I hope that's what you would do is take different things from these industry specialists and see how they apply to what you do and how do they apply to your personal life. Even if you are one of the panelists, how can you learn something from someone else here? And actually, that is why we're here today. And I never say what's on my notes. Okay, so the next thing I want to know, Vince is going to be our host, and I'm going to be working in the chat room. All right, and I'm so glad my video's working today. And who knows about tomorrow? But okay, you can see me today. So if you stay to the end, you receive a $300 hotel savings card. Okay. Everybody put your information in the chat room. Before we leave today, we're going to hopefully give everyone opportunity to say a few words about what they do. We had quite a few people sign up uh, for this evening, so I'm really expecting some more. The more, the merrier. So I'm going to turn the program over to Vince Williams, who is Director of Operations for Entrepreneurs Academy. With over 25 years of business experience, He brings valuable insights to aspiring entrepreneurs. I'm going to turn it over to you. So I find that host button.
That's great,
It's
Sonja.
all yours.
Excellent. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for joining.
Great.
Appreciate having you guys out. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear and see me okay. We're all good? All right, perfect. Appreciate you all's time as we're closing out what America officially considers Black History Month, but we know we're always going to celebrate it every month, right? I'm excited to be a co-host here with Sonja Cassandra Perdue on Ask an Expert. As she mentioned, my name is Vince Williams. I'm the Director of Operations for Entrepreneurs Academy. We're a nonprofit organization based here in Chicago that teaches entrepreneurship in a 12-week-long cohort, if you will, program that provides entrepreneurs the opportunity to network together, create their business plan, speak with subject matter experts, and participate in events like this. So it's great to see now Jade, how you doing, and Harold, two graduates of the program, and hear their story and what's going to be happening from them. For the others on the call, we appreciate you being out. Please don't forget to put your information into the chat there so that we can add you to our database, and maybe you can make some connections and networking here tonight. So I'm going to jump right in. Again, as Sonja mentioned, we're going to keep this conversation very casual, where each of the panelists will end up telling us more about their respective journeys, what they're doing. And then for those that are attending, if you have any questions, feel free to add that into the chat, and Sonja will filter those down for us and make sure that we get those answered for you. So, Mr. Dennis, I know that we had you scheduled and we had some technical difficulties during our last one there, so I'm going to put you on the hot seat. How's that? So welcome in. It's good to see you, brother. Please, Phil, tell us who you are, your organization, and then let's go into what you're doing today.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I figured I'd go first. I remember the first day of class. He was like, okay, that guy in the back, Harold, you go first. All right. All right. I'm Harold Dennis. My company that's in the process of being developed is 99 Films on the Wall Film Company. I'm an actor. I've been acting for over 25 years with over 200 films, a lot of independent films, shorts and features. I have a huge IMDb page with over 250 photos, action photos. I have a strong Google presence, projects on YouTube, Amazon, about 20 films on Tubi where I make appearances and a couple I star in. I've I also teach acting as well. I've been teaching. I found myself teaching back in 2004. I was like, wow, I can teach what I'm learning. And so I taught at Second City for 2 years, teaching acting on camera. And I've been doing, since the pandemic, online acting workshops, 2-hour workshops, a couple a week. So anybody that's out there that thinks they want to see what it is to attempt to try acting, I'm your man. I love what I do, and I get a lot of compliments. I've been nominated a couple times for some local awards. Won an award. I've been in classes for pretty much the whole 25 years. I studied with one guy for 18 years weekly. Every Wednesday afternoon, I was in class. And when I started studying with him in January of 2004, I asked him, can I help you clean up around here? And he says, sure. And so he says, well, you know, classes are 3 hours of work for 3 hours of class. So for a bunch of years, I spent my Wednesday afternoons, early evenings, preparing for, you know, my future. And that's commitment. And at one point back in 2011 and 2012, I found myself taking Meisner classes, and that turned out to be 2 nights a week. So for about 15 weeks, I was in 3 classes, 15 months. I was in 3 classes a week, plus living my life, you know, working, part-time jobs that's dealing with acting, filming, all sorts of things, living life, going out on the court, shooting free throws, you know, trying to keep up with the young boys. And so I say that to say that I found that, you know, it's not about motivation, it's about dedication and being inspired about something that you could find and do for the rest of your lives. And that's part of my story, and I'll get into more as we go on, and if there's questions I can dig deeper. But I'm here. I found that back in, and Vince, I've mentioned this, back in 2002, my buddy asked me, HD, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to do plays? Do you want to do commercials? I said, I want to be in people's movies. And so that's where I put my focus on for years. And so I used to check my IMDb movie database page daily. Oh, wow, I got 3 movies. It'd be nice to get 5. Wow, I got 7. It'd be nice to get 15. Wow, I got 50 movies on my credit, you know, and so well over 200. Once I got my company is 99 Films on the Wall because I wanted my IMDb page to have 100 movies on there. And so when I hit 100 movies a few years ago, I was like, what's next? Have I arrived yet? No, but I'm enjoying the journey. So why don't I make it 300? And so I'm getting close to 300 credits, and, you know, I'm having fun along the way. And so a few years after that, I was like, I want to make my audience feel something. How do I make my audience feel? And the answer came through me. It came through me to me through a book called Story by Robert McKee. And I read this book back in 2002, and it's how screenwriters are supposed to write Hollywood archetypical screenplays. I was like, as an actor, if I know what the screenwriter is supposed to make, that'll make me a stronger actor. With all of my training and that know-how, it did. And then the opportunity to study with Ted Sarantos with his techniques, intending, dream, seeing, what do I want the person to do that I'm talking to physically, that if they do it, everyone in the room here will see them do it through me. And how do I play it? What's the opposite? If I need a secret, add a secret, and a whole bunch of other things. And so I've learned how to do that, and I've learned how to teach actors how to get a response from their audience. And so that's part of my story, and I'm happy to be here, and more to come. Thanks.
That's phenomenal, Harold. Appreciate you sharing that information and your background there. And I think it's interesting because a lot of people don't think about the business of acting, right? The fact that it is an entrepreneurial journey. You're consistently selling yourself in the past films and things that you've done to showcase what your range and capabilities are. And so I love that you're continuing to push yourself, if you will, in that arena and making a difference, if you will, by giving back to the community, as you were mentioning there too. So thank you. All right, next we're going to go to Kenya Renee. Are you there with us? Will you be able to turn on your screen there? There she is.
Vince, before you go to
Yes.
Kenya, can I ask
Yeah.
Dennis a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Kenya?
Sure.
Can you hold on a minute? You're gonna have to reintroduce you. You settled in, that's good. They call you HD, huh? Hey, Harold, hi, good to see you.
Hey, Sonja.
And I was so glad to see that you attended Entrepreneurs Academy class and that you're taking your business to the next level. How was the class, Harold, HD?
The class was a 2-year MBA program in 12 meetings. so they threw the kitchen sink at us. It was challenging, and it was a wonderful experience working with the guys. I mean, Vince is my mentor, you know, in the class, and he's here for us for the rest of our lives. So it was excellent, yeah. And so I walked away
made
with
that commitment.
I walked away with a lot of information, a lot of know-how. And Sonja, I just want to say thank you for what you do, because had you not posted that on the website in the email chain link, I wouldn't have seen it and been a part of that class. Thank you.
Well, I'm proud of you. I want to say this to Harold. You're walking in Dr. Booker T. Washington's footsteps. Do you know that his college entrance exam was sweeping a room? And he went back. He had walked, I don't know if he walked 100 miles. He walked a long way to get to their college. Can't think of it right now. And when he got there, the woman there, it was a one-room little college, asked him to go in there and sweep that room. So he went in there to sweep that room. And he looked at it and he wasn't satisfied. He went back and swept it again, okay? Until he felt that he had did the best that he could. And when she came in and looked at it, he got into college. That's so you walking in his footsteps. You had the presence of mind, knowing it and not knowing it not knowing it and knowing it at the same time. That you had that same mindset. You were giving and take, and that's very important. I just want to read one thing. I brought Nuri Muhammad's book last week, The Mathematics of the Mind. And this goes to what Harold is speaking about in his journey uh, in the movie and film industry. The mathematics of the mind means that whatever we feed the mind the most is what wins. And as I listened to HD do his presentation, his opening presentation, that's what I heard. That's what he started a couple of decades ago, I would say, feeding his mind, and that's how he's winning. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Yeah, it's being an expert, it's still an ongoing learning adventure.
That's
Ongoing.
right.
Yeah. I found that I want to help people too. And so who are the people that I'm helping? People that are in the industry that I can see need a mental boost. You know, I in my workshops, we always give positive feedback. What did you see in that performance that you liked? That way the person gets some positive reinforcement, you know, and learn some things and feel confident enough to continue. It's a tough business.
I know. Back to you, Vince.
Okay, thanks so much. Appreciate that. Okay, well, we're moving right along. We're going to keep this going and be respectful of everyone's time there. Ian, I see that you've added some information into the chat, but I think it came to me directly instead of going to everyone. And with that, I'm actually going to put you on the spot because I'd like to go to you, and we'll have Kenya come back in after she gets settled there. Is that fine? All right, perfect. You can unmute, and the floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing this evening, first of all?
Doing well, man.
Good, good. My name's Ian Willis, and I am the owner and operator of TLO Web Designs. And we are a local web design and marketing agency where we design modern, well-designed, eye-popping web designs and SEO solutions for small businesses, and we do it at a budget price. So
I'm going to stop you right there, Ian, and ask if you can explain what SEO is, just for some of those.
oh,
I'm going to be the acronym police.
I'm going right into it. So I've been doing SEO and web design for 10 years now. And over that 10 years, Google and SEO has changed a lot over the past 10 years, especially with the introduction of AI. And so for those who don't know what SEO is it stands for search engine optimization. And what that is when you go into Google, when you go online and you type something into Google, you get a result. And that result is from businesses who have gotten their information into Google to where Google shows the person looking for that information their business. So to chop that down, SEO is simply getting your business in front of customers that are looking for your services, and the ones that are looking for your services are actually the ones that are ready to buy. So search engine optimization is getting those customers in front of you so that they can buy and purchase your services and your products. So when it comes to SEO, there's two different types of SEO. There's what's called on-page SEO and off-page SEO. Now, on-page SEO, and I'm go through this very quickly, and tell me if I need to slow down, please. So on-page SEO is what happens with your website. How does your website reach different people in on different parts of the internet? What do you put on your website? What types of keywords do you put on your website? What images do you have for your website? What are your how are your website pages set up so that when people are looking for you, they can actually find you? So we'll start with keywords. Keywords are the terms or the words that people put into search engines like Google, like Bing, like any of them. And those keywords are what they're actually looking for. So if someone says local pizzeria in Chicago, those are keywords. And how SEO works is that those keywords are, if you place those keywords in your website and in your off-page SEO solutions, which I'll explain what that is, those keywords will connect with Google and connect your search to that business. So again, if you have a business like Tom's Pizzeria, pizza, cheese, sausage, restaurant, those are keywords that will lead someone directly from their search to your business. So that's what keyword research does. And it's one of the most important things you can do when it comes to search engine optimization. When it comes to off-page SEO, well, then we're talking about blog post, doing blog post articles, doing your Google business profile page, optimizing your Google profile page with different keywords, sorry, I'm going blank here for a second. So it's also setting up your Google business profile page with the categories. If you're a pizzeria, then pizza and restaurant and out and evenings out. Those would be categories that you would put your pizzeria up under. It doesn't matter what business you have. Putting your business in the right categories on a Google business page connects also to your website, and it allows Google to connect your website and your Google business page and bring people exactly where, and it'll put those two pieces of information in front of people looking for your business. Does everybody get what I'm saying? Everybody follow?
Yeah, no, that's going great.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Am
You're
I
doing good.
freezing?
Doing
Yes.
good.
Yes.
I'm good? Okay. So, because it's freezing here for me, that's why I'm asking. So let's quickly go over on-page SEO, and let's start from the top. So when you have a website, and let me say this first, every business needs a website. Every single business needs one. If you have a Facebook page or an Instagram page or a Twitter page or a TikTok page, you have to understand one thing. You don't own those pages. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they own those properties. They own that digital property. If you don't have your own website and your page is taken down, which I think everybody at one point or another has been put in Facebook jail. If your page goes down, you've just lost your customers. You've lost any customers that are looking for you until you get that page back up. When it comes to having a website, that is your own property. Think of a website like a 24-hour salesperson ready to go every single time. And you have the option of designing that site and putting information on that site that will direct people to do business with you, to purchase from you, and to continue a relationship with you so that you can have customers for a lifetime. From the hero section, the words that are in the hero section at the top of the page, that is what's called a title tag. Those title tags or what tell Google exactly what your business is about. All right. Something I've seen a lot of people do, they have images at the top and say they'll have flowers or something at the top of their website, right at the on the hero section, but their business is talking about selling tires, but they like the image. Understand this. Google has no idea what an image looks like. It doesn't understand that. So when you put an image in, it has to represent what your business is. And this is a little added bit of information. When you put an image in, you need to attach what's called an alt tag or an alternative text. What that does is Google will read what the alternative tag is or what the alternative text is to understand what the image is, which also tells Google what your business is about. These are small steps that you can take to ensure that there's maybe 40% or 60% of what things that everybody can do to increase their SEO presence online. Very simple things. Get a Google business page. Ensure that across all of your platforms, all of your information is exactly the same. Your full name, your telephone number, your address. All of these things need to be the same when it spreads across all of your platforms. If it's not the same across every platform, Google will see every single one of your platforms as a separate entity, and you won't be ranked for it. And ranking is what gets your business in front of different customers. So that's very important. When it comes to off-page SEO, here's something that a lot of business owners can do that I've just suggested to 2 of my clients. If one of you, say, has a athletic clothing store and someone else does athletic medicine, offer to create information or content for each other and then link those pieces of content in each other's websites. What it does is that's called link building, and it's also called internal link building. And what Google will do is Google will rank you on having outside links that are relevant to what your business is, and especially if your business has content that's relevant to the other business that your link is on. That's a quick way to build inside and off-page links that can help rank your business and get your business moving faster inside Google. I'm jumping around here, so I hope everybody's with me. I'm trying to give as much important information as I can, because there's a lot when it comes to SEO. One of the things that I see a lot of people don't do, and I said it before about your Google business page, is people don't claim your Google business page. So understand this. If you have a Gmail account and you start a business, you have a Google business account, you have a Google business page, you need to claim your Google business page, because this happened to a friend of mine. If you don't claim your Google business page, someone else can claim it. It's very easy for somebody to go in and claim your business. And if they're a competitor of yours, they can easily add negative reviews to your page. And anyone that goes there will see this, and they will take your customers away from you, or send your customers somewhere else. So if you have a business, you have a Gmail account, go into Google and claim your Google business page. It is very, very important. You can also put all of your information on Google, which will help with your ranking. Google will look at that information that's connected on your Google business page, the information that's connected on your website, and any information that you have out, like blog post articles. All of those connect. Google will connect all 3 of them and see that you're giving information out to your customers that is valuable, and they will immediately start to rank you slowly and over time. All right. Also, please think of this. When it comes to ranking your website or ranking online at all, SEO isn't a sprint. So many people want to get to the first page and do it very quickly. And I got to do this, and I got to change this on my website today, and I've got to change that on my website tomorrow, and I've got to put this content out. Take your time. SEO is a run. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a race. It's a marathon. Take your time. Make sure that all of your content across all of your platforms is exactly the same. Claim your Google business profile page and make sure that every bit of information is correct there. Learn how to write blog posts. If you don't know how, there's a piece of software called Gravity Write. And if you use that, it will not only write a blog post for you, but it'll also write it in a human form. Now, I suggest if you do that, go in, take a look at it, and add your own little twist to it. Add your own little spice. Because if you don't, Google will read it, see it as AI, and AI is accepted in Google. You can use AI in Google to rank your business, but if it comes off as being very stale and very plain, and it gives only direct information and doesn't give reflection, then Google sees that as you're not giving your customers a part of yourself. You're not being authentic, you're not being genuine, and they will take your blog post down. And your ranking will go from here to there in a matter of months.
Very powerful stuff, Ian. We have a couple of questions that are coming
Sure.
in.
Sure.
So if you don't mind, Sonja.
Absolutely.
Sonja, did you have?
Okay. You can raise your hand if you have some questions. If you posted some questions in the
Please.
chat room, you're free to ask. Don't be shy
Please.
now. You
Please.
can ask.
Absolutely. We're small but mighty.
It's okay. They act as shy.
Okay, that's all right. I'll start with one. Ian, what if
Yes.
someone has claimed my Google page?
Okay. So what you want to do is you want to reach out to Google. It's not easy. Let's just say that. It's going to take some work.
Mhm.
But if you go into a Google business profile, no, if you go to google.com, what you can do is there's a section where you can email Google. And it's going to take, there's about 15 to 20 questions that you have to answer. But when you put into your message, you have to tell them that someone else has claimed my business, my Google business page, and I need that to be fixed. It's not a simple process that takes a day or two. It may take about a week. Sometimes it could even take a couple of weeks. But until then, what you can do is put on every piece of content you have, put it on your website, put it into your blogs, put it onto your social media, and simply say, hey, everybody, my Google business page has been hacked. Ha, ha, ha. Make it funny. My Google page has been hacked. So if there's anything you want, any information you need, you wish to contact me through here. Add your Facebook Messenger to your website. That way, when they see that message, and if they see a bunch of different bad reviews coming out or someone just really dogging your business, that way, when they see that information on your website, they see it on your social media blog post, they'll understand that someone's hacked it and not to trust that. But it can be changed. It takes a lot of time to get it done.
I think you pretty much explained this. Ian, can you drive customers to a business website? I think you answered that. That was Debbie. Debbie, did he answer your question?
I think he did. I believe
So,
he did. And
ask the question again.
Ian is like my little nephew or something closer than that. So I can reach out to him. I'm not going to waste your time.
No, ask the question because it may be something that
you're not
somebody else.
wasting our
But I
time.
would add, I would like to add to my question. My initial question was whether or not you can drive people to a website, but my website is created by the actual company. So I just started my own travel business.
Okay.
And it's created by the company. It's not a Google website. So can you drive customers to a website?
You can. What you would need to do again is so your best practice is to set up a Gmail account. Doesn't have to be a
Yeah, I
business
have
Gmail
several
account.
already. I have
Okay,
several.
so you need to have one that's connected directly to that business. Directly. So if your business is Debbie's Travel, you need to have Debbie's Travel at gmail.com. Then once you do that, go in and claim a Google business page, or go in and set up your Google business page. Once you do that, now you can start to drive traffic directly to that website, because
But
now
I
you
don't have
have
any
an online
control over the
presence.
website because it's a company created.
But you can still drive traffic to the website. You don't
Okay.
have to necessarily own the website, but as long as you have a Google business page that you can add information to from that page, from that website, as long as you have information that you can add to the Google page.
Mhm.
And if you can write blog post articles, and they don't have to be amazing, they need to be anywhere from 500 to 800 words, and you can do that with gravity, right?
Mhm.
And just give honest information, give valuable information about what you do and about the travel industry, and especially information that most people don't know. If you give that, Google sees it as you giving valuable information to your readers, and it's going to take time. It's going to take a little bit of time, but the more you do it, the more information out there, the faster it will start to drive traffic. And especially if you use your social media and you use keyword research on travel. So for travel, I would use things like vacation, travel, family, stress relief, um, rebirth, energizing, things like that. Those words are normally keywords that are associated with vacation. Do that, and you can start driving traffic.
Well, I would rather like you to help me, so we'll get together and talk about it.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
That's some powerful information there, Ian.
Thank you.
I'm trying to incorporate artificial intelligence, AI, with
Okay.
a lot of the things that I'm doing
Okay.
today. Would you recommend that it's good to say, go to a chat GPT and say, can you provide me with SEO words for my business?
Okay. Let me say this. I know a lot of people like to use Chat GPT. That's not my favorite thing. It's really not. Because Chat GPT is limited by what it can actually do and the information it has access to. So what I would recommend is that you can go to google.com.gemini. It used to be known as Google Bard, if anybody's familiar with Google Bard. It used to be known as Google Bard. Google just updated it, and now it's known as Google Gemini. I would go there. And what you can do is the phrase you can use is, give me 50 or 25 Google friendly optimized keywords for whatever your business is. And then ask it, what is the best practices to use these keywords in a natural way? That would be my suggestion. ChatGPT even the paid version doesn't give you much information, and 90% of the time that information is incorrect. Also,
that's
check
powerful.
any information you get from AI. Just ask for, one thing you can put in is ask for reference links.
Nice.
For any information you put in, ask for a reference link. If it can, then Google will give you a web page or an article that you can go in, read it, and confirm the information that it's giving.
That's phenomenal. Can you share that site again? Google.com/Gemini?
Absolutely.
Okay, I tried to put it in the chat there for everyone just in case.
Yeah, that's it right there. Google.com/Gemini. Or you can just put in Google Gemini and it'll come up.
And it'll come up.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm trying to see everyone here. It looks like we've got a nice number of participants. Does someone else have a question? Please just unmute yourself and ask. Doing okay? All right. I'll ask you to sum it up there, Ian, and then we'll go to our next speaker.
Okay. Basically, I'm going to say two things. One, anyone who doesn't have a website needs one. Period. You have to have control of the narrative and the flow of traffic for your business. And if you leave it up to someone else, your business can easily fail. Second, SEO is not difficult and it's not a sprint. It is that it takes time. It takes time for it to grow. It takes time for you to be seen online, but it's very, very doable. And if anyone needs any help, anyone else other than Debbie needs help, you can reach out to me. I'll put my website in the chat, as well as if you need to figure out how to set up your Google page, you can go to my website. There's a link that will give you information, step-by-step instructions on how to set up a Google page and how to claim.
Outstanding stuff, you guys. Virtual claps there for Ian. Powerful,
Thank you,
powerful
sir.
information. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm guilty. I try to say I'm tech savvy, but I can tell you everything you just shared with me is all new information.
That's all right.
So I love
That's
it.
right. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll continue to answer any questions. So if some questions come to you that you want to ask Ian or Harold, the previous speakers, as we continue on with tonight's presentation, don't hesitate to either put them in the chat, or when we open up the floor again, just go ahead and ask that question, but let us know exactly who you wanted to answer that for. All right, moving right along. Up next, I'm going to introduce Miss Kenya Renee, who is I'm going to make sure I get this correct here. She's director of FAM Entertainment Theater Company, but she's also the owner of this beautiful, beautiful space located in the Bronzeville community here in Chicago. Absolutely anything essential. It's a gift shop. It's a co-working space. We've had some classes there. Chicago Black Business Network did an incredible event there a few months ago. And again, it's located at 3521 South King Drive. So without further ado, Miss Kenya Renee, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vince, and thank you, Sonja, for this wonderful opportunity. My name is Kenya Renee. Again, I am the director of FAM Entertainment Theater Company. So what's FAM Entertainment Theater Company? Well, we've been in existence since 2002, and that came from, I was an actress for many, many, many years. And after being in productions that made no sense, had no substance, because I'm a pretty serious person, a lot of buffoonery, not good writing, I decided to put the pen to the paper and started writing stage plays and productions. From that, we started touring with stage plays and productions all over the city of Chicago, the south suburbs, some downstate Illinois. And after that, I became friends with a lot of fellow actors and authors and started producing their stage plays based on their books. So if you are an author out there and you're like, man, you know what? I think I want to turn my book into a stage play. Well, you can definitely do that. And it does not have to be all of the chapters either. It could be like a few chapters. And I wrote a business plan many, many years later after producing stage plays and educating the youth on how to utilize monologues to advance their speaking skills. I wrote a business plan and I won the business plan competition with the Chicago Urban League in 2016. And they actually granted me the seed money to open up FAM Entertainment Theater Company there at that location at 3521 South King Drive. And, you know, any small business, you know, knows this. And for those who are hoping to open up a brick and mortar, don't get frustrated. It took me 20 times to go down to City Hall, and many, many years later, like 4 years later, to actually get the license that I needed for the theater company, right? Because of the city codes and things that you need. So don't give up, don't give in, push forward. I just want to encourage you to just push forward if you would like to open up a brick and mortar. But in the aspects of this, we had 3 levels. So what we're going to do, we can't open up the theater company. That's why I got the grant, right? To open up the theater company. We can't open up the theater company. What am I going to do? Well, because I was already a handmade artisan, I made a lot of soaps. So I became very popular with making soaps for cosmetologists and body scrubs for estheticians. And I hung with a lot of Chicago vendors. So I would go to all these vendor fairs throughout the years, probably over 15 years. And I got that from my grandmother. So I just want to encourage you, go back into your roots. What are some of those skills that your ancestors taught you and you're very, very good at that can make you lots and lots of money? So at the tender age of 5 on up into my 20s, my grandmother was a handmade artisan. She made skirts, she made live soaps, and she was very famous in the city of Chicago for making quilts. So as soon as that baby came out the womb, she don't care who it was, that baby got a quilt. Okay. And a lot of people still have those quilts to this day. And my grandma has gone on. She passed away when she was 94. But she actually taught me how to become a vendor at a young age. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I would have to be out there at the flea markets selling her quilts, her handmade skirts that she would make, her live soaps. So I want you to just go back into what you learned from your ancestors and those skills that you have. So therefore, I was able to open up the gift shop, which is called Absolutely Anything Essential, on the lower level of our theater company. And just like in other communities, you know, people have theaters, hospitals have gift shops. I said, you know what? Let me open up the gift shop on the lower level. And the gift shop flourished a great deal. And take in mind, this was in 2016. This was before the influx of pop-ups. Now everyone is having pop-ups. You can have pop-ups everywhere. But back then, we were the first Black-owned incubator space on the south side of Chicago. So I actually got the idea because someone who I was working with, she said, you know what, you need to go up north. You need to go to Andersonville Galleria because the south side does not have what you're talking about. No one has this. So I went to Andersonville Galleria. If you guys have ever been there, it's 3 levels full of vendors. Go check them out, especially if you are into retail. And that was a place where you could get space, they give you space, and you pay monthly fees. And so I mimicked that. Okay. And so from that, we have been definitely very successful. I have seen hundreds of vendors come through my doors. And I would say that the thing that most vendors probably need help with is marketing. Marketing. And I also learned this when trying to get my products inside of the Marianos that came to Inglewood. They clear as day told you, just because you had, and I do think that this is a reason why that Mariano's was not as successful. No, Whole Foods, I'm sorry. Whole Foods was not as successful as other grocery stores, even though they gave a lot of small business owners opportunities. A lot of small business owners feel as though they could just go dump their products on the shelves and people are just going to miraculously just buy their product. I want to encourage every vendor out there, every handmade artisan out there, people who sell products out there. You still have to promote your product because it's tons of other products just like yours. So just by throwing them on the shelf, you know, of course, it's packaging, of course, it's your promotion, of course, it's people who just want to support you. So again, I just want to encourage everyone out there, start promoting your product, promoting yourselves. We've been 8 years in that establishment. And if it was not for word of mouth, where would we be? You know, we've pivoted since COVID. Before we were just a gift shop. We were labeled just a gift shop when we first opened, just a shopping location. But throughout the course of the years and what COVID showed me, because I'm more face to face. So I never was like an online person. I never really excelled in online sales. You're gonna come meet me, you're gonna experience me, you're gonna shop from me. But COVID showed us that we had to pivot. We have to pivot a great deal. So I want to encourage you as well. If it's certain things that just aren't working anymore because society has changed, it may be time to pivot. We were just retail, but then we started teaching classes, a lot of classes. So yeah, you can come and buy that soap from me, but also you can come and take a soap making class with me. And from that, we have excelled a great deal. So I just want to say, come on and shop with me. Come on and take a class with me. We have body scrub making, soap making, vision board making. It's a lot of experiences that we offer, and we offer team builders. So again, don't be afraid to pivot. So that's it for right now.
Phenomenal.
Any questions?
Phenomenal information. Thank you. Do we have some questions for Kenya Renee?
It's not a question, but it's more of, I'm so proud of you, Kenya. Keep going. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I always have a question.
I want to say hi to Kenya. That I hear a lot of things about you through Diana. So she's always Remy's bling. So yes, I hear a lot of things, and to hear your story was very inspiring, especially how you kept going after trying to open up that brick and mortar. You got denied 20 times, and I would like to know more about that, especially when it came to zoning.
Right. And a lot of people, and I want to encourage you to do your research, even though you may say, oh, that place is for rent. I'm going to go and I'm going to rent that place. It's available. You have to make sure it's zoned for what it is that you're trying to do. And don't be afraid to go down to City Hall. It is a hassle, but majority of the time, they are there to assist you. And then you can always go to your alderman, because I was back and forth in the alderman's office and everything. But sometimes it's not just about the city, it's about the building owner as well. And I have a legendary business building owner as well. So it's just certain things you might have to do. We had to actually, because of the E2, because we're a theater company, we had to get doors that pushed out instead of pull in. So just please make sure that you are working with your building owner. You search for grants that can help you. We had to go get the League of Chicago Theaters to come in and help us to get the right doors and all those things. So it was not just the city of Chicago. And I just want to say this too before I exit. I would not be here to this day if it was not for collaborations, if it was not for support. Miss Diana that you spoke about, she was my business partner for many, many years. She went back to the Chicago Urban League, but she still is with me. If it was not for the help of fellow organizations, community leaders, people like Diane McDonald that stay in my corner, the vendors who have been with me from day one, every last person, I don't care if they was with me for 3 months or this 8 years. If it was not for them, I would not still be in existence to this day.
That's so true, Kenya. That collaboration is phenomenal. And then if you have someone in your, in your pocket, like you said, they help you along, especially during those times when it's challenging there. Pretty phenomenal. Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
You took the words out of my mouth, Vince. I got something to say, Vince. Hey, Kenya, good to see you. Good to see you. And I was going to go right to that word, Vince, collaboration. It's a phenomenal word. Absolutely. Kenya, I want you to speak on, because it's a bug in my bonnet. The collaboration, like you said, there's so many more pop-ups and so many more places that people can vend. But there always this complaint out there wasn't enough people, they didn't come, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. Lack of collaboration. Can you talk about a little bit, just a couple of minutes, about how important when you're vending or when you're hosting something or a class or whatever it is, that everyone collaborates?
I do just want to speak on those who sell products, the ones who sell products in many different venues. I hear that complaint. Oh, it wasn't that many people there. Well, did you share it with your network? Did you at least send emails out? No. Or did you just send one email out? That's not enough. It's not enough. People need to see it at least 8 times. So did you send emails out to them every week? You know, you get sales emails from, you know, every store, you know, so you need to do that even more because there's a lot of competition out here. Did you send text messages out to people in your network, in your phone? Will you send text messages out about the stupidest stuff, you know, so you can send text messages out about the event? Did you do Facebook promotions, Instagram promotions? Did you put it on your website? Did you just post it on event calendars throughout the city of Chicago? All those things are needed because it is so many people that do the same exact thing and so many people that have events on the same day. And so I just want people, when people say things like this, well, I mean, they're not going to shop with me. Okay, they're not going to shop with you, but what about the other 15 vendors? You just don't even want them to shop with them either? Or what if they don't even have the money to shop? Like sometimes I don't have the money to shop, okay? But I still go network, I still go show support, or maybe I might bring my grandbaby so that they can just participate with the animals, but still I'm still showing support for the vendors. So I just want us to think about that more, come out of your comfort zone and promote like never before.
Absolutely. I love that you touched on that there too, Kenya. Market yourself, right? Don't just rely on that venue to bring these customers in. Say that, hey, I'm going to be represented here. Come and check out this new space or see this new neighborhood or something like that. I think that lends greatly to not only your success as a vendor at that pop-up, but just the success of the entire event, period. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, and I quick Vince, even in our collective, if you are a vendor and you're there that day, I say, you know what? If a customer comes in, you're there that day, right? Immediately promote yourself. Immediately promote yourself. And then, you know, introduce the other products that everyone else has. But it's always about promoting yourself first.
Absolutely. Excellent. Did anyone else have a question for Kenya? She's dropping some nuggets. I'm trying to write and type them into and put them in there too as well. So I hope you're seeing them in there. Wow. Would you like to share? Do you have anything coming up here? Did you do anything particular for Black History Month over at the Absolutely?
Anything essential? Yes. So technically we are always on vacation right after the Christmas break. We open up back in February. So our February has been lit. We had a theme called Love is Lit Month, and we had classes each and every weekend. We had the Mom Squad come out. Many groups, women and men, have come out. I want everyone on this call. You can vent with us for Juneteenth. We have big events and then we have regular events. Small Business Saturday, which Sonja was a sponsor of, and Mr. Vincent, he spoke at the event. That's another one of our big events. But our Juneteenth event is humongous. So if you would like to vent, we are hosting our event on June 15th, which is that Saturday. So again, it's absolutely anything essential. Absolutely anything essential. Gift shop on 35th and King Drive. And we have, you know, an upcoming big event for Juneteenth. Come out.
Outstanding. Snap, snap, snaps, Miss Kenya. I love it. Are you still acting too?
Commercials, yes. Commercials, yes, because I don't have it all. So yeah, commercials.
All right, perfect. Well, if there's any other questions that come up for Kenya, don't hesitate to put them into the chat. She talked about, again, the phenomenal space that she has there located in the Bronzeville community, 3521 South King Drive. Up next, I'd like to introduce Patricia Murray. Patricia is going to talk to us. I'm looking, as I search through it all here, Patricia, I'm going to let you introduce all the good things that you have going on. I'll spotlight you, and we'll keep this moving along, all right?
Okay, but I think Debbie had her hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Debbie, did you have a question?
Yes, I just put it in the chat. I just asked Kenya if she would say the name of her business again.
It's absolutely anything essential. AAE, absolutely anything essential.
Thank you.
Welcome.
3521
Put it in the chat there.
South
Yeah.
Kennedy Drive.
Correct.
Thank you, honey.
Awesome. Okay, I guess I can go. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Murray. Now, that's the flag of Durham, North Carolina that you see. I'm actually in Durham, North Carolina, publishing what I call Durham's online community paper, the Durham Skywriter. But I'm going to talk about my experience in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. I've been in Durham for I think this is my 22nd year. Oh my God. But I'm from Chicago, grew up in Chicago, started a newspaper when, well, let me put it this way. Okay. Born in Woodlawn, raised in Chatham, as an adult, lived in Hyde Park. And then when I wanted to become a homeowner, realizing I couldn't afford Chatham, went back to Woodlawn. So I was working as a proofreader and an editor. I've worked at like engineering, law firms, whatever. But I always loved the media. And I never really thought an ordinary person could have their own newspaper. I mean, I grew up, of course, seeing, Jet and Ebony, and mom sometimes would subscribe to Durham's paper, Carolina Times. But they were like in the big time. I never thought that an ordinary person like me could start out with an actual newspaper. But when they invented the computer, well, they had already been invented, but I mean the affordable computers that ordinary people could buy, then I realized, ooh, I could probably do this now. So I started a one-page newspaper, one page folded into four. And I was living in Woodlawn, realizing that although it was my old neighborhood, I wasn't that familiar with it. So I studied it for about a year before coming out with the Woodlawn Scoop, which is what I called the paper. And I realized that by that time, it was pretty much all low-income working class. And it seems that my neighbors didn't feel all that great about being in Woodlawn. And I'd always hear, oh, ain't nothing happening in Woodlawn. And I also realized, being a sort of like a student of journalism, I never went to journalism school, but I was always extremely interested. I noticed that what they called diversity was sharing the good stories from their, I'm saying there, I'm talking about, from, saving the good stories for themselves. In other words, writing about themselves as the good stories. When they wanted to cover crime and the negative side of life, they come to Woodlawn or Inglewood or, wherever, the low income areas, the Black areas, the brown areas. And right next door to me was a young lady who had won a national computer contest. I can't remember what it was because it was like 30 years ago. But because she was from Woodlawn and Black, they couldn't believe that she was that smart. They had her to take whatever test or whatever she did to win. She had to do it twice because they just couldn't believe it. That story never made the news. You never heard about it. I know you haven't heard it because nobody covered it. Also, I noticed when I moved back to Woodlawn, the Bulls were doing with the Michael Jordan and the championships and all that. So everybody was excited about that. And I visited one of the schools. It was the one on, I've been in Chicago so long. What is that, on 63rd and off of 63rd and King? But anyway, I forget. Anyway, so I spoke with the principal of that school, and she said that they were one of the first schools in Chicago, period, to make a partnership with IBM. IBM built computer labs in this school, Dulles Elementary School. So nobody covered that story. I mean, they'll cover, like, I can't think of any schools. I haven't been in Chicago for so long, but they'll cover like maybe Senn High School or what's another white high school? I don't know, but they'll cover the other folks.
Lincoln Park High School, some of the
Okay,
others that are out there.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah, okay. But they'll cover them when something good happens to them, but they didn't cover Dulles when they got this incredible partnership with IBM. The principal told me, guess when the media came out? The media came out for the first time to Dulles when the Chicago Bulls won one of those championships and a couple of windows got broken. They all flocked to Dulles to cover that story. So, yeah. So I realized, you know what? We need our own newspaper. And, you know, Chicago's known for newspapers. And in fact, Woodlawn had a newspaper way back in the day. I think it was called the Woodlawn Bee or something. We're talking about like like before I was born. I was born in 55. So we're talking about a long, long time ago. So anyway, I decided, you know what? I'm going to start my own newspaper. So I called it the Woodlawn Scoop. Basically, it was one cover story. It was 8.5 by 11. So it was 11 by 17 sheet of paper or something like that. And so the cover story, I'd write about like the new Bessie Coleman Library, whatever. And then I had a calendar of events and then a nonprofit page. And then the fourth page was ads. And I made sure that I didn't go to where, you know, everybody goes to, you know, the big stores for the ads. I said, it's a community paper. I'm going to the people. So my business owners, my advertisers were like the little tiny stores in Woodlawn, Cottage Grove on 63rd Street, 61st or whatever. I charged $20 for the ad and I would build the ad for them and they loved it. The paper grew to be 8 pages. And finally, it got to the point where I realized, you know what? Inglewood needs a paper. So I called it the Woodlawn Inglewood Scoop. And I started, you know, meeting everybody in Inglewood, going to their schools. And by then I was reporting on more and more. By that time, I had a school page, a health page, a kids page, senior page. I think I had 8 at the end. I think I had 8 calendar of events pages. And I can't remember what other pages I had, but basically, oh, and I would interview kids. I don't do that anymore because the parents are very squeamish now. But back then, the schools were eager to show off their kids. And it wasn't hard at all to find a straight A student in any of these schools in Woodlawn and Inglewood. We only hear about in fact, the main reason I wanted to interview kids was because, at least back in those days, the only time you really see a Black child in the news is because they got killed or they killed someone. So I wanted to showcase our kids, and it wasn't hard at all to find incredible kids to interview. So every month I would go to one of the schools, go to McCosh or let me see, I'm embarrassing myself. Oh, Benjamin Banneker.
Yeah, there's some great ones that are going in. I don't know if you've been to Woodlawn in a while, but it's been some serious growth.
Okay.
That
But I
is
could try to, yeah, and I would cover the high schools. When I say cover, I would actually call every month. I say, tell me something good, what's happening? And they, you know, they tell me something wonderful to put in the paper. So anyway, it got to the point where people were calling and say, well, when you coming to my neighborhood? And I said, well, maybe I will. So I expanded the scoop to 12 neighborhoods and became the South Side Scoop. I still wasn't covering the whole South Side, but I was mostly covering, let's see, how far did I go? I went as far as like 111th or 17th or something, down to that school that's like half Black and half Chinese. I can't remember that school. That was fun. That was really fun. And then as far east, of course, as the lake. And then as far west as maybe Ashland. I don't think I made it as far as Western, but as far as Ashland. So I was definitely all up in Inglewood and covering all, you know, as many neighborhoods as possible, and that including Hyde Park. So I covered 12 neighborhoods. And so I'm here to tell you that anybody who wants to start a community paper can do so. You don't have to be the best writer because after all, the average reading, and at least in the low income areas, the reading level is between 5th and 7th. Hopefully it's better now, but back then it was like maybe 7th grade. So as long as you can write straight and factually and simply and explain things well, then you can really do well with a community paper. They do say that the newspapers are doing terribly right now. They've been saying that for a couple of decades. But the types of newspapers that have always flourished have been the ethnic papers and the neighborhood paper, the papers who actually know how to serve their communities. Because basically, when you look at, I'm not going to talk about the Sun Times or the Tribune, but I will talk about the Herald Sun, which is our local paper here in Durham. They do really well covering crime. They love them some crime. They can cover some crime all day and night. They're great covering the fires and the assaults and all that. They're really good at that. I let them have all that. I'm not interested in all that because to me, that's not really news. To me, those are events, things that happen. To me, news is what can I give to someone that they can actually use? What school can they send their child to that would serve them better? Maybe if the regular public schools aren't serving them, is there an inner city charter school that can serve their child better? It's my job to find out the information that my readers need and to give it to them. I call that news as opposed to just, I don't want to say just rapes and robberies because that's terrible. But what I mean is it's kind of almost scintillating the way they report crime and whatnot. And of course, the celebrity stuff, I'm not even interested in any of that. Did you monetize your newspapers? Yes. My first ads were with companies that knew me. So I was always up in dailies, okay, on 63rd Street. So when I asked George Cairo, hey, you want to advertise in my new newspaper? He said, yes, right away. And wherever I used to shop, the little hair place where I used to get my little Afro sheen and whatnot. So you want to add in my paper? They said, oh, God, yes. Oh, of course. So I started out with people that I knew. And then sometimes I go to their competitor if they said no. And I'd say, you know, this cat over here, he's not taking out an ad. Maybe you want one. They say, yeah. And sometimes if somebody took out an ad and a competitor saw it, they'd say, well, why didn't you ask me to be in your paper? I said, well, come on. You know, and I also learned something else. When I went to Inglewood and I was delivering my papers door to door, there was, I don't know, it's probably not there anymore, but on 70, like 4th or whatever, in Halsted, the Illinois Casket Company. So I tiptoed in there and I dropped off some papers and, you know, because they had a casket in the front room. I was like, ooh, yeah. So I just dropped it off and tiptoed away. And as I was tiptoeing away, I heard a, hey. And I turned around. It was the guy from Illinois Casket Company. So I tiptoed back and I said, hello. And he said, come here, I want to talk to you. Just turned out that he was a retired IBM executive in charge of communications. He taught me a lot. And he told me people, when it comes to advertising, well, first he said, why didn't you ask me to advertise? And I kind of blushed. And he said, I know why. Caskets, of course, it's awkward. He took out an ad right then and continued until the very, in fact, all of my advertisers stayed with me to the end, practically. And he taught me people want to be asked. When a lot of newspapers will say, well, nobody's advertising with me. Well, did you ask them? Do they know you? Have you introduced yourself? And he taught me a lot. He says people are just waiting to be asked because it's kind of like an honor. You know, people think, oh, well, they don't want to spend their money. They're cheap. They might be cheap, but $20 isn't much. Of course, maybe nowadays you'd want to charge 50, but still, if they're in business and they want to do better, they might want to spend 50. You have to talk about it with them. And also you have to serve them. Like when it, excuse me, I'm not used to talking so much. So I didn't just run their ads. When they needed something, I would help them. If they needed a flyer, it doesn't hurt me to do a flyer right quick. I got a computer, you know, I would help them if they needed to, if they didn't know how to print tickets or whatever, help them out. Also, I would, and I do this now here in Durham, now that everything's online. So when I first did my paper here in Durham, it was in print like it was in Chicago. Now everything's online. But still, I'm able to help them. I go to my advertisers sometimes and I interview them. We do a live stream. Give them something extra. No matter what business that you're in, do something extra for the people that you're serving. And I'm saying serving because if you're in business, you're in service, you know? So serve them. Do a live stream, even if you're not an expert. You don't have to be an expert. I mean, I had to learn on my own and I made lots of mistakes, but they were fun to make because nothing's on the line. I mean, you just do what you do your best, try new things, experiment with your advertisers, or even I like what Kenny was talking about, where you're, where maybe they're not going to buy from you, but you don't care about the other people there. Well, promote them because I'm actually a toy maker too. So I'm out there making toys, selling them at festivals, and I go around to all the other not toy makers, the other vendors, and introduce myself. I'll do a live stream. Of course, I'm doing it as a Durham Skywriter, but I'm doing a live stream. I'm saying, we out here, come on down. We're out here till 8. And here's so-and-so, she's selling hair products. Tell us about your business. So always be ready to serve others. And when you ask, they're going to say yes. I can't think of how many times people have said no to me when I asked them to advertise. Just ask. And no matter what business you're doing, always, if you need help, ask for help. And a lot of people say Black folks don't help each other, but they do, because there was this guy, he was one of my advertisers. He went out of business. He was a, what do you call, he worked on cars. Mechanic.
A mechanic.
Yeah, he was a car mechanic. But he worked on the high-end cars, the fancy ones. And for some reason, he went out of business. And so I was really sad. I was like, oh man. So I went to Spates, which is the oldest, well, they just went out of business too, because they died. But anyway, so I went to Spates and they were one of my advertisers. And I saw the guy there. And I asked Mrs. Spate, I said, hey, my man is here. What's going on? And she said, well, we help each other. He went out of business. So now he has so he serviced the fancy cars from Spates, but they kind of like a beauty salon where where you rent a booth. So he was doing the same thing. Another one of my advertisers had a fire, and his competitors called him and said, man, you can work out of our space until you get yourself back together. And those are his competitors. So don't believe it when they say, oh, Black folks never help each other. Always they got that crab thing. But hey, ask for help, you get the help, and just know that Black folks, at least the hip Black folks, will help each other survive, succeed, and do really, really well. And I hope that I didn't take up too much time.
Not at all. You did phenomenal to say that you're not a speaker. What are you saying?
One more thing.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Don't be afraid to be really bold, because again, experiment. I call myself a journalist. I never went to journalism school, but I'm doing journalism. So, call yourself what you are and do it. But here's the thing. So I decided I was going to try radio. So I went to WHPK over there in Hyde Park, University of Chicago. And I said, you know what? I'm interested in doing a public affairs show called Scoop Radio. They're like, good idea. So they brought me on. But here's what's so funny about it. So, the Hyde Park Herald is a newspaper that's been around for 100 years. It never occurred to them to have a radio show. And they're right next door. They're right there. The office of the Hyde Park Herald is on 57th, and WHPK is on 57th or 59th, or where anyways, right down the street. And until I started my show, they were like, oh, snap. I'm sure they were embarrassed because I'm on their turf doing a show about Woodlawn. So that embarrassed them. And then they ran out and did a show real quick. So don't be afraid to experiment and do crazy things to promote yourself and whoever else you're working with. If that means going on somebody else's turf and embarrassing them, well, do it.
Absolutely. Just because they didn't think of it doesn't mean that
they didn't think of it.
Shouldn't be done, right?
Exactly.
Again, yeah. I see Kenya had mentioned in there that she's not going to be afraid to ask. You have to just ask sometimes. And, you know, even if you get a no, at least now you know where you stand.
Exactly. And offer help, because today I was at the volunteer center, and I went to them and I said, you know, we used to have they have a new director, so she didn't know anything about the Durham Skywriter. And actually, I haven't spoken to them since COVID. And I said, you know, we lost track of each other. I'd like to reestablish my relationship with the volunteer center. I said, how can I help? And she was like, oh. And so we're going to have a nice little partnership, because I asked how I could help them. And I know they're going to help me as well, if you know what I'm saying. So there you go.
That's phenomenal, Pat. Outstanding information. And I think this also lends greatly to what Sonja mentioned earlier, and just the collaboration of everything that she does with Chicago's Black Business Network, right? It's helping other businesses out, and it's helping these businesses out by providing resources, by providing this type of venue where you can ask an expert and learn some things that you may not have known, but in an intimate setting, but also utilizing this technology. I love the fact that you're in North Carolina, in Durham, North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
But you know, your roots are here and you're sharing that good information. And I think, what is that behind you? Taste of Chicago? Do I see that over your shoulder?
Yeah. You know, I got to represent.
Absolutely.
I will always be a Chicagoan, just like some people say we're always Africans, we're Africans in America. I'm a Chicagoan in North Carolina. I'll always be a Chicagoan. And in fact, I'll be visiting next month. I want to say thank you, Sonja, so much. I hope I get to see you when I visit next month.
Yeah,
Thank you. Please, let's have a lunch or something when you do visit. I remember when Patricia started the school. We were working together back then, and some people, Vince, you may be old enough to remember there was a pharmacy. Was that on 75th Street? Patricia, her family owned a pharmacy in Chicago.
My grandmother owned. It was called Woods Pharmacy. It was on 82nd and King Drive. It's now Perry Pharmacy.
Oh, it was on 82nd? Okay.
82nd and King Drive. And she was, you talk about an entrepreneur. Her husband, which was my dad's stepdad, he died. He was a pharmacist. He had two shops, one in Bronzeville, one on 35th, I believe. But anyway, one around 47th, one around 35th. And he died suddenly, just like dropped dead. So she suddenly had to figure out how to run his pharmacy. And she lost one of them and was able to hold on to one. She hired, the smartest thing she did was to hire Mr. Perry, who was a pharmacist. And he stayed with her since the 50s. And now it's Perry Pharmacy. He was, I don't know if it's still, I don't know if he's still with us. Probably not. But yeah, but he was with that pharmacy for decades upon decades. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Great.
That's awesome.
And I do want to say, I thought it was important for Patricia to be with us today to talk about her community newspaper, because I do still think that they are viable and that you can make changes by having a community newspaper and reaching out to people. They want to feed into us that that's not important, that, you know, the print is dead and all of that. But for communities, for them to communicate, there's no one communicating collectively. They are online, but everyone is not online, and they don't see what you're printing out, and they don't have the same ideas. And what's important to someone who's online, city block or whomever they may be large online, but what's important to them may not be important to that core community right there. And they may not be speaking to the people in that core community right there where you live. And the people in the community may not even know the people who have remote businesses or small businesses working out their home. They may not even know that they're there because they're not on the same social media platforms. So yes, those small community newspapers or newsletters, and it only needs to be a few pages, and you don't have to be perfect, but they are still important. And that's my final word.
Oh, can I add just one tiny more thing? I have a daily show. I'm not promoting it, but what I want to say about having access to social media is that if you could be so bold as to start your own show. I mean, I know Sonja has her, this is her show, but what I mean is you could have your own show. Because I do a daily show called Bull City Hangout, and I invite people to join me on camera to promote themselves. And I've had people I'm like, you're in Washington State. What you doing on my show? But, people, if they know the opportunity, they know that they can come on a show like mine and cut me out. And if they're clever with the what do you call it, editing, they can create some pieces for social media by coming on a show like mine. So
Absolutely. You're
any of you
creating
could
those
do that.
reels now, right? They call them reels, the
Yeah,
little
you could
short
do all
bites
of
that they're
that.
pushing out.
Make those announcements, because if you feel too shy to do it yourself, then come on my show and speak. And like I said, cut me out and put your thing up there on Instagram and, do it that way. It's free. And Debbie, you had a question?
Yes, I'm not shy, Patricia, but I would like to know how to access your program.
Oh, sure. So it's called Bull City Hangout. So
Bull,
it's
Bull?
yeah, Durham is known as the Bull City. I can't remember,
Okay.
but it's Bull City. So it's Bull City Hangout. It's
Mhm.
11 o'clock your time. So it's every day, noon Eastern, on the Durham Skywriter Facebook page.
Okay.
And so that's the only way that you can get on the show, is by going to Facebook, because it's also at the same time broadcasting on Durham Skywriter Twitter. Soon I'm going to switch it over to Instagram, and also Durham Skywriter YouTube. But the link is only on Facebook because I had it on YouTube and a naked person showed up. So I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. So yeah. So come to at 11 o'clock. What I usually do is I tell you what's happening in Durham. I give information about what's happening in Durham. Then I give the weather, and then whoever has clicked on the link to join me on camera, I'll bring them on. And we have a little, little hangout, so to speak, little conversation.
Thank
I
you.
love it. That speaks volumes.
People like Kenya can do that, since she's an actor, sorry, and promote not only her business, but maybe some different production she's doing. Sonja can actually do little quick takes with one entrepreneur. Um, J. Vincent Williams, you can do the same. You could say, you know what, we're going to talk to Ian Willis today
Yeah,
for 5 minutes. In fact, you can call it the Fast Five.
I love it.
Yeah.
See, you are a consummate entrepreneur. Always thinking. I love it. Something else coming out. That's phenomenal. Well, thank you so much. And thank
Thank
you for
you.
sharing and bringing this in. We're going to keep moving this along. Again, if you have some questions for Pat or any of the other speakers that came on today, don't hesitate to just chime in, raise your hand, or just drop it into the chat. I'm going to bring up next, last but definitely not least, another phenomenal entrepreneur that's going to share her story and talk a little bit about some of the things. Jade CrossFit. I always mess it up, Jade. Jade Cross French Cow.
You can stop at Cross French now. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just okay. I got you, Jade Cross French. And she is the proprietor and owner of One Stop Customization. I'm going to let her talk in detail, but I got to share with you all, Jade graduated from my entrepreneurship class. Was it last fall? Last spring?
I believe it was spring.
It was almost, so it's coming up on a year now.
It has been a year. We started our cohort February 27th.
Oh, yep. So we're right at a year then. I love it. And you're on stage. The floor is yours.
I cut you off. I'm sorry. But yes, it's been a year. So hello, everyone. Again, my name is Jade Cross French, like crossing the street, and French fry, put together. I'm the only one in the world with that name. So yes, that is who I am. I am the owner of One Stop Customization, Printing, and Consulting. But what we do is so much more because of my background. And I want to first say everyone who went before me are amazing. This call is so aligning that I can't wait to talk to everybody after this because what I do, I am a natural connector. And also with my program management background, I really help businesses market from the inside out. So from my time being with the Entrepreneurs Academy, I went in initially with my nonprofit organization, Young Gifted Hustler, where I focused on program management and helping other organizations create curriculum and programs to cater to their clients. But that also turned into me exploring my gift. So my gift is truly being able to go into different organizations and social enterprises to be able to identify the holes in their foundation. Because most times they have phenomenal things going on, but they don't have enough traction. So what it is that I do, I see, okay, what systematically can you change and implement? And then, you know, the printing and the promotion, the word of mouth, the connecting with stakeholders, as well as clients and customers. I do cover that whole plethora of from the inside out, literally. So this is what we do now. I have been able to hire 4 employees within this very short amount of time based off of the relationships that I have been able to build with banks while building my own credit, my business credit, and helping these different organizations flourish and being a product of the services that they provide. So this has happened to me from the beginning. So my contact information, you can find me on social media across all boards on my own at J Cross French. For One Stop Customization on Instagram, we are One Stop Customization LLC because the handle for One Stop Customization was not available anymore. And on Facebook, it is simply One Stop Customization. You can also go to my website, oscorders.com, and you can enter what it is that you need help with. We do do digital design down to printing shirts for marketing. We also have a sprinter van as well. We have advertising packages. As of February, I am also a host. I am the host of Get With The Program with J Cross French that airs on FBE TV as well as Global News Forum.com through Lamont Watts, who is the owner of Club Steppin' Radio, which is also a fellow EA graduate. He graduated with my cohort. I just think our cohort was the best, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit biased. So we
Harold's
have all
Harold's not going to agree with you on that one, Jade. But
Harold know what it is. Harold and I see each other all the time. He knows, don't you know? Yeah, he said yes.
Nor will Sonja. She's a graduate as well.
Oh, yeah, Miss Sonja is the OG. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm also young, so I speak in my own little language. So you'll catch on and you'll probably be saying it. Like Miss Patricia, a trendsetter, that is also what I do. And that's what makes my services unique because I am uniquely myself in everything that I do, which is what I encourage all entrepreneurs to do, especially when you want to have your business to stand apart. And that is something that I have learned. Like it's okay to be yourself. And that has been my biggest takeaway from within the year of starting Entrepreneurs Academy. Yep. Oh, okay.
Can you share what's trending today in marketing?
Yes, so I I do specialize in content creation. So what I do with content creation is we take little snippets, these reels that Vince was talking about earlier. I help myself and my clients, we come up with whatever we're doing. I teach them how to just take little bits and pieces to attract their audience. And it's not anything it's all organic. So what's trending is being organic and being authentic. That is the most trending thing right now, just being yourself. Truly. So there are trending sounds to use to help, amplify your views and the attraction that you get to attract the whatever demographic that you're looking for. So I would say to first, when it comes to know what's trending, you have to know what you want to trend for. So you really have to know that your demographic. So first know and understand what demographic you're going after, and then you can do the marketing research on what it is that they like. As far as music, like Miss Sonja, I can use this example. Miss Sonja made an amazing video. I thought that video was dope, and she had like a stepper song on it, but that appealed to her audience and who she attracted, because all of you all are here today. So I took the same video Miss Sonja made and I just put my music to it, and so that it can appeal to my audience as well. So I seen all these amazing people. I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I shared that today as well and just put my music on top of it. And my people started to like it, and some people shared it. So that is something that I do recommend. So taking something ordinary and using what your borrowing ideas and tweaking them to cater to your audience is definitely a thing. But also giving credit where it's due. That is very important. And that's a part of authenticity and being real. Like nobody wants anybody to take their intellectual property. So making sure that you pay homage, and then also you'll also gain favor. So that person may even share it and be inspired by you reusing what it is that they did. So that everything is recycled. No idea is new. Even listening to Miss Patricia, she started this paper, and that's what it grew traction, because it was something organic, something that nobody has done. That is the biggest superpower when it comes to marketing. So, and that's why I go into these different businesses and organizations to see what is unique and what can we uniquely pull, and what can we uniquely market and make trends. So my latest project was When Bosses Link. And so what we do is, we just say we work together. Whoop, whoop. We help others out of poverty. So I made the Whoop shirts. So once I made the Whoop shirts, and we have like all this different content area, we just started to put it out, hashtag invite people. So make it also with trending topics, you need to invite other influencers. So you're an influencer yourself to start, but also invited other influencers to share what it is that you're doing. And by creating, that Whoop sweater is really what launched that last client out. So now we have famous people coming into our space now. And we had the lady off of, if you watch Empire, Tasha's assistant, what's her name? Cookie's assistant. She was there as well. So we had like Ben One, because they're all being attracted to the branding that we're doing. So marketing is one thing, but branding liaisonship is really what I specialize in. Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Jade. I love it. I think you're dropping some really good nuggets there, and then utilizing, like you said, marketing there. I posed a question in there, and I find this to be just one of the things because I am a little bit old school. Are you finding that business cards are still necessary today? I know that a lot of people are using the digital business card, but I'll share with with everyone on the call. I'm old school to the point that when I get a business card, and I was going to look here in my office and see if I still got some of them. Can you see that where they're essentially, let's see, I'll remove the spotlight, but you can see I got like a rubber band around them. I talk from where I got all these business cards from. So when I get back to my office, I actually sit down and I write that, hey, we met at a Chicago Black Business Networking, event or something like that. I can't do that when it's a digital card. It's in my phone and I just haven't, done it on there. So share, Jade, if what you feel is still there and what works.
So cards are still very important to have. So what we do is, so I don't use them often because I don't want everybody calling me, because I am gaining like a bigger like platform, and I can't, it's already a lot hiring people and doing, so I specifically don't give them out for that personal reason, but they are very, very necessary. Even when it comes to somebody said something about an email list. Miss Kenya said something about an email list earlier. Those cards are essential for that, because that is the way that you build your business database. So in marketing, you need to have a database and a leads list, because that's who you market to. So yes, having business cards are still very important. I just personally don't give mine out, because then I'll be busy doing a million things at one time, and I need to stay focused. Yes.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think that's great. I would probably argue that, it's still great to hand them out, because though you don't want to get that feedback or that rush of those calling, but sometimes people like handing out your business card. Hey, I met this great person and here you go there. So I'm trying to stay positive and think about it, right?
Absolutely.
But that also is one of the items that you create through one-stop customization, correct?
It is.
You'll do
It
these
is one of
marketing
my products.
pieces. It will be business cards and pop-up banners and tablecloths with your logos on it and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Sound a little bit more about that?
Yes. So the printing component to one-stop customization are the shirts that I'll talk about. All of the movement that you all see me do, I actually have a partnership with an embroidery company now, and this is one of my clients' work. So I'm really excited, and I do specialize in working with social enterprises and nonprofit organizations. So I help them with their flyers, business cards, their banners. I also have a sprinter van where I can print out magnets to roll around in the local Chicago neighborhoods to market that way as well. And now I have radio advertisement as well for marketing. So those are the different avenues that I use for marketing.
That is very clever, Jade. So essentially you're doing mobile advertising for your clients by printing a magnet, putting it on your van, and driving throughout those neighborhoods.
Absolutely. Yes.
Get out of here.
Snaps on that.
My.
Thank
Ooh,
you.
I want one.
Oh, Miss Sonja, I want to talk to Miss Patricia, because she's the original innovator over there. She has the newspaper. So it may be another way that I'm gonna start advertising. Okay.
Hey,
So
I want to put an Entrepreneurs Academy on that van too now. Let's talk about let's talk about getting something like that on there. All right.
Absolutely. And we had judges. The election day is coming up, and we did have some judges come and panel in a space. My brick and mortar is in the When Bosses Link Business Center on 40th and Western. So it's a co-working space. So we have a stage in there. So the judges were there and they asked, hey, you know, how much is it for advertising? So I was able to make a magnet for Justice Cobb. Yeah.
Outstanding. And it's called When Bosses Link. And that's at 40th and Western.
Yes, When Bosses Link. Co-working
Okay.
space. Yep.
Outstanding. I put in cowering. Sorry about that. Were there any questions there, Sonja? Did you have something there, Miss Pat, Ian, Harold?
Well, I do.
Please go ahead.
Us alumni, I'm an old alumni. I think that was 2016. You and Harold are newer. So it's a lot of things about Entrepreneurs Academy that are in place now that were not there when I was doing it. So you guys got a lot more resources and a lot more training. But Harold didn't lie. I felt too that I'm like, wow, all of this work. What is this? You know, it was a lot in 12 weeks. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm just not probably gonna do this whole 12 weeks. But I did, you know, I know how to complete processes, but I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. But I did complete it, and I'm glad that we can share this information with all of you so that you can go back and share it. We used to give a lot of events back in 2008, 7, 9, whenever in there, and we would ask people, tell us about your business in a networking, in-person networking event, and they would explain what they were doing, and you couldn't understand what they were selling or what they were doing. And the first thing they asked in the class that I took is for us to do our tag, our mission, and that type of thing. I had to really, really think about it, you know, because I was probably saying the same things that they were. Maybe no one was understanding me that way. So I could created that we are a social media management and training organization. It was only supposed to be one line. And to this day, although I don't do exactly the same thing anymore, to this day, that is the line that I use. And I had never previously defined in words truly, clearly, as to why I existed. What was I doing? Anyway, I do all kind of stuff, but what was I doing?
You do, Miss
So
Sonja. You do
we
great
don't
work.
know what we don't know. Okay. And so I invite everybody here uh, to refer people to EA because
Thank
there's a lot that we do not know and we do not have to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to say this last thing, Vince. And Jay, I want you to put your Facebook page in here because I always learn something when I'm over there peeping at your page. It's so much going. She's doing so much and so much going on over there that you should follow up a Hannah and learn something. And I'm very serious about that. Okay.
Can I share one more thing, you guys?
Please.
Yeah.
My new client is the Grand Ballroom.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Yes, we are.
65th
We're working
Cottage?
on a great thing.
Yeah, 65th and Cottage. They just received a new grant.
shoot.
I do a lot of work in economic empowerment, and they just received a new grant that's going to help do some refurbishing and remodeling there. And so we're going to see some good things coming out of it.
Oh, so it's still existing. That's good.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
Jay,
Because when
Jay,
I
I got
was
a
in
question.
Chicago still, you know, back because I left Chicago 2001.
Uh-huh.
There was a retired couple. They put all of their money into the Grand Ballroom. They didn't own it, but they wanted to bring it back. They had it, they fixed, they put all their money in. They probably lost it all.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then it became like the Onyx or something.
Yeah, it's back to the Grand Ballroom, but we'll
And
see
now it's
some
the Grand
things
Ballroom.
coming out of it.
I'm glad it's still there because that couple, they really wanted to make it a showcase. And they did as
Yeah.
far as their money could take them. But then I think they ran out of money or got
Yeah.
Well, on every Tuesday, we're trying to liven it up now, bringing in the young with the old stepping classes. So yeah, literally from the inside out, you guys. That's where the marketing comes in. And
Beautiful.
Eunice is partnered with me with that as well.
Is that right?
So
Hey, Miss Eunice, another graduate.
yeah, another EA graduate. So yes, we're very excited.
I love it.
Hey,
Outstanding. You're
Jade,
doing some
I've
great
got a
stuff.
question for
Yeah,
Jade,
go
if
ahead,
I
Ian.
can. Hey, Jade, I'd like to talk to you more about getting some information about that co-working space. So if you could reach out to me, I'd love to get some information about that.
Well, I need to reach out to you for SEO and help and train my new employee that just got off the phone with me earlier. So I definitely mutually need to connect with you as well.
Let's do it.
That's phenomenal. That's what we like. That's what the whole purpose of this is so that we can see if there's ways for us to collaborate and uncover some synergies there. We're coming up with a little bit before 6 minutes before we're ending this, but what I'd love to do, and with your blessing, Sonja, is to hear from Debbie, Sonja, and if Tanya, you'd like to chime in as well. I'd love for you guys to just have the opportunity to say, you know, who you are, what your business is. And, you know, again, we're small but mighty, but I think this was a powerful, powerful ask the expert, ask an expert, I'm sorry, provided by Chicago's Black Business Network in collaboration with Entrepreneurs Academy. And just, again, hearing all of this inspirational and motivational encouragement from other entrepreneurs is just, it fills my heart, everyone. So Debbie, would you like to go?
Sure. My time here, first of all, has been well spent, and I appreciate spending some time with you all. I'm supposed to be at church volunteering with the youth group. And so, but I said, I'll just get there a little later. But anyway, I started off with doing a lot of diversity work during COVID. And it ended up each year, I challenged myself to, okay, what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? And so I'm all into goal setting and making sure that I improve and go to the next steps of the work that I'm doing. So just to make a long story short, started off with doing sessions on diversity related issues, specifically Dr. Jamal Tisby's book on the color of compromise, how the church was instrumental in complicity and racism. So I started out doing those on Zoom. I'm actually doing that today still on Monday nights up until the end of March. It's a short video study, and we have discussions in small groups. And each year I challenge myself. So this year, last year, I'm sorry, I challenged myself. Okay, what are you going to do next? And so that's when I started my nonprofit and Diversity Matters nonprofit, and continuing to doing the presentations, and actually did one at the library in Oak Park recently. Just doing those kinds of things. I think it's important for us as people to understand the importance of connecting with people who don't look like us. And I won't get on that sermon because we will be here a long time. And so that's what I'm doing. And a few weeks ago, I started my own travel business too. And so that's why I want to start. I'm retired. First of all, I took an early retirement when I turned 55 in 2016. I took an early retirement. Before I retired, I started figuring out, okay, I know I'm young and I know I have a lot of energy. And so I started working as an adjunct professor about 8 years ago. I'm still doing that part-time, but I'm starting this travel business because I really want to discontinue teaching as much. Even though I love it, I want to just do more things to spend time with my new grandson who's 3 years old. And that's Debbie.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, if you didn't put it in there, please put your contact information on the travel business, and we'd love to see if we can patronage you or send some people your way. All right.
Okay.
If I can jump in for just a second, Debbie and I grew up in the church together. So
yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's like my little brother.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Is it Miss Sonja? Is it Sonja Noble?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Please
It is.
introduce
Thanks
yourself and
for
let us
doing
know.
it.
Yeah.
So my name is Sonja Noble. I have thoroughly enjoyed this cohort that we have here. So that is phenomenal. I hope you all can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Sonja Noble. I have been in finance forever, for more than 30 years. During COVID, when everybody was in isolation and everything, I started repairing my credit and sharing my journey on during Facebook, just telling people what I was doing. And what happened was everybody was like, "Hey, do mine." So realizing all of the information that I have, about money and things like that, I started sharing it. So I have expanded. The first was like Silver Crown Credit Repair. Now I have a new business called, well, it's fairly new, called Premier 72, which is all things finance. So we help people, entrepreneurs, get money, learn how to do tax strategies so that they are no longer paying so much in taxes. So I don't do taxes, but I can show you the different things that you can do to reduce your taxes when we start transitioning from W-2 people into this entrepreneurship. Like, what is it that we need to do? And also I have been doing on Facebook, like people just sharing information. I started doing Smart Money Mondays, which is what I'm just sharing financial tips about anything money. So sometimes this starting what credit union you should join, what you should do with your how to review your credit report, just all of those things. And so the name of my company is Premier 72. And what that does is it's like all things money and just helping entrepreneurs. So I love talking about money. I have a business partner. We go into schools. We talk to entrepreneurs and really meet you where you are. So a lot of people are scared of money and we're just helping. So that's me in a nutshell. My name is Sonja Noble, Premier 72.
Love it. Thank you so much, Sonja. Appreciate you. And then is it Tanya Bucci? Would you like to chime in and introduce yourself, or still with us? All right, no worries there. I'm going to turn this back over to you.
No, it's okay.
Oh, there you are. I see you.
Yeah, I was just trying to unmute myself. So I don't know if you
Hey
can
there,
see
how
me.
you doing? Would you like to introduce and tell us about your business?
Yes, my name is Tanya Boucher, and I'm also actually in insurance and financial services. So my we help people save money and protect their money through life insurance with annuities and IULs and life insurance. So also, I have a website and it's called bouchersmillionaires.com. So.
All right, that's perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well,
thank you.
Thank you everyone for attending. This has been outstanding. I love the feedback, the positive feedback, the encouragement again that we're receiving. Sonja, you are on to something big here. This is good stuff. So without further ado, I will let you take us home.
That's great. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. And let me ask you a question. Should we do this live? I don't know. I like it. I sort of like it like this. But after we close out and everything, you got my email. Give me some feedback. I like your feedback for sure. Okay. Thank you, Patricia, for coming on in here. It's good to see you. Okay. And I hope that you take up her offer to come on her streaming and bring a friend and talk about what you do. Never pass up an opportunity for free advertising. Okay. And thank you so much. You learned a lot. Appreciate you being here. Okay. Harold, of course, is doing those acting lessons. Okay, spread the word. Spread the word, because I'm sure doing acting lessons comes with a lot of other things to it, a lot of other pluses to it. Kenya, appreciate you being here, taking the time. Me and Kenya's partnered together on a lot of things. Appreciate you taking the time. Our guests, Jay, don't want to forget you. Appreciate you. She's so busy, busy, busy. I just like watching her. All that young energy. I just be following up behind her, just watching her. Ooh, we love it, Jay. Just love it. And Vince, of course, I love working with Vince. He has so much to offer. He can continue to be the host. I like being in the background, and he's in the. He took over the chat room too, so you know you can do it all. It's okay with me. You know, he just went on in the chat room, showed me what I should have been doing, but I'm too busy watching people to type up in there and everything.
We're a team,
But
Miss Perdue. We're a team.
we're we're a team, and so I want to thank all of you for being here. And we're gonna do it again next month, Vince. We're gonna do it again next month. Just haven't set the date. It's gonna be at the end of the
Count
month
me
on the
in.
Thursday, probably.
Count me
But
in.
we
And I
making
love
so
your
many.
idea. I think that we could possibly do a type of hybrid event where maybe we're in a location where it's live, but then we also stream it.
We
So
can do
Well,
that.
come
We can
on.
do.
yeah.
Come on, you guys. I'm ready for you.
Exactly.
It sounds good. Uh, we have a couple of choices. We can do it at her place, Jay place, and then we can do it at Kenya's place, and we can just do it everywhere, can't we? If we want to, we can
Sure
do it like
can.
that.
That's
Yes,
modern
we can.
technology.
We can do it like that. We sure can. Thank each and every one of you for being here the whole 2 hours. You don't know how much I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Enjoy your evening and see you next month on X Ask an Expert. Good night, everyone.
Outstanding. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.